Well, great to see you this morning.
Yeah.
You can see that we're outside Abbot Hall, so we're looking onto the river. There's still quite a lot of work going on here with the flood defences, but we're not going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about Clean the River Kent campaign. So great to see you. I've been following your work for probably about 4 or 5 years. So Clean the River Kent campaign, I think, was set up in 2021.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, and you've been involved from the start?
Yeah, there was a small group of us, really people that lived in Kendal, Burneside and Staveley, all passionate about the river for various reasons. Some were wild swimmers, some were kayakers, some were nature lovers, etc. And we were just worried about it, worried about the state of it.
Very good. So, I mean, what did you think the state of the river was? Because it's an SSSI, it's flowing through a beautiful part of the world, but the river wasn't in a very good state.
Well, there were, I mean, it looks beautiful, and it is beautiful, and it's got lots of diversity and lots of wildlife, but there were 2 particular incidents in 2021 which sort of made us realise that all wasn't well. So the first was there was a major fish kill in Kendal. And that was just such a visible incident. There were dead fish. I mean, you know, people in Kendal will remember it vividly. It's still under investigation, actually. Unfortunately, we're pursuing that. So that brought people together from Kendal. And then in Staveley, very obvious issue was that we had sewage, raw sewage, bubbling up through the manholes into people's back gardens, onto the streets. Pumping then into the river, and it was like, this is not right, raw sewage, it's not. So that really prompted us to get together and say we need to get together and do something about it.
Got it. So you said that the fish kill is still under investigation. Is that the Environment Agency?
Yeah, they're investigating it. I think it is categorised as a grade 1 incident. So we were talking to Tim Farron last week, actually, who promised to look into it and pursue it to find out just why there hadn't been an announcement yet, because that's 5 years on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sewage, it's a major issue. A lot of national concern about it. So in terms of improving the quality of the Staveley sewage works, you've got some progress there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was interesting at the time. So there's been obviously a whole wave of awareness about sewage in the rivers and our lakes over the last 5 years. We were just at the start of that, really, and so it was a fortunate timing. We could sort of ride that wave, if you like, and use that to our advantage, but also, you know, we used that opportunity to push our story up the agenda, and people were interested because it was just sort of sparking off. So we used that as much as we could. Things were going to have to change. I mean, you know, there was no secret that the sewage works in Staveley were spilling significantly into the river. So, you know, the Environment Agency were aware of that, but you know, we did make a lot of noise, and you know, we
some success.
Yeah, I mean, right now,
yes.
Actually, right now they are on the streets, actually rebuilding. They've, interestingly, in Staveley, they're not just upgrading the Staveley works. That's actually happening right now to increase the capacity. The United Cities, they have to meet upgrade to meet the demand for reducing spills. But they also have combined it, which I think is very sensible, with actually looking at all of the pipes that lead into the treatment works, because those pipes, they're called combined sewer outflow, CSOs, they actually, if they've got cracks in them or they're misconnected, they will take rainwater off the hill, groundwater that doesn't need to be treated. So the treatment works was treating stuff that could have gone into the river and was exacerbating the problem, obviously, because it was putting more pressure. So very sensibly, they've looked at the whole of Staveley, relined, and replacing.
Yeah, and obviously that impacts on Kendal. National Kendal is primarily concerned about Kendal, but we are concerned about the catchment area.
Of course, yeah.
So the catchment area includes all the way up to Kentmere and all the areas for the River Kent.
And
It's the heart of our work.
there's a lot of work going on in Burnside. People who've been through Burnside, it won't have gone missed. There's a big upgrade going on there as well.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, we decided when we set up that what we needed to do was to actually gather evidence, because how can you campaign if you haven't got hard evidence to say what's going on? So we've done a whole programme of citizen science since we started, but we are really pleased that the treatment works is being upgraded, and we've got a lot of data from what it was like before, and it will be really interesting afterwards to carry on monitoring to see what
So you're going to
difference it's made.
continue with some citizen science
We
to
will
monitor.
do. Oh yeah, once it's in place, which is
Brilliant.
due for completion next year. So that's great.
Yes.
Once it's completed, we will obviously do science, and hopefully the results will be positive.
Very good. And you're also monitoring the river in terms of other chemicals that are in the river, I believe, aren't you?
Yeah. It's been a really interesting voyage, because a few people on the group have got science backgrounds, but a lot of us come from all different walks of life. So it was a learning curve for us. But what we realised was we started off doing testing for fecal bacteria, which, without going into detail, there's E. coli and Enterococcus, and we had lots of different studies, worked with different universities, etc., collected samples, different techniques, all consistently high, whether we were below Staley treatment works, below Kendall treatment works, which is interesting because as a river, compare the River Kent, which is fast flowing, it's relatively rural, etc., etc. If we've got problems here, think what's going on in some of the other rivers around the country. So that's an interesting thing. But then we realised that actually, so we were getting these results. They weren't questioned. We accepted data that there was pollution in the river at its actual level. But then we started to think, well, actually, are we actually sure that this pollution is coming from humans, or is it coming from agriculture, wildlife, etc.? Because that's the other question that people always ask. So we did a study to try and identify sources of pollution. We've analysed half of those results so far. The rest of the results with the University of Sheffield being analysed right now. But the initial set of results show us quite definitively that actually human pollution is still the major source in the River Kent.
Right. And I'm also aware that you've done work in relation to some of the treatments that we use for our pets, in terms of these chemicals that are used for flea treatments.
Yes, neonicotinoids.
Neonicotinoids. I'm glad you said it first.
That's about the limit of my knowledge.
All right, okay. But it is quite a major issue, because these chemicals are they don't break down, do they?
Very persistent, very persistent, and you only need very small quantities of them to be really detrimental to wildlife.
Yeah. They're designed to kill wildlife.
Totally, exactly.
And they do work.
They do work, yeah. No, it's I mean, we would like to do more on it, and we are currently just we've got a very slow burn campaign around it at the moment, and we're planning to do more going forwards. But it's a very sensitive thing, isn't it? Because we love pets. We all have pets, but there are. So we don't want to say you can't use these treatments. We want to just say that there are ways and means you can lessen the impact of it.
Yes.
Sensible use of them, not letting your dog go in the river, shooting after you apply treatments, etc. So there's lots of things. It's just raising levels of awareness, because I'm sure most people don't want to feel that they're damaging the environment, but they might not even know it. So
no, it's awareness raising.
It's awareness raising, yeah.
And then there's other aspects to your campaign work, in terms of people that have their own private water treatment services.
Yes. Sort of off mains tanks, septic tanks, off mains treatments. Yes.
So you're a useful body to go to for those people who want to do something for nature, in particular in relation to the river. And you've got a good website.
Yes.
And lots of leaflets.
Lots of leaflets, yes.
Yeah. Well, we've got a member of your group who is on our stall, Sue
Yes,
Merrick.
Sue Merrick, yes.
She does a lot of work with the presence that we have on Kendal Farmers Market, so it's very good to get the message out there as well. Very good. It is raining.
It was red hot before.
That's right. We're just in the middle of an interview, but thanks for popping by.
Superb, fantastic. I've been drying my clothes, and now they're getting wet. Superb.
I know the feeling.
Well, Kendal used to be nice, but Kendal's not as good now.
Oh, it'll get better.
No, it's taking years now.
It is.
Kendal
This will be all finished
Kendal
soon.
was gorgeous. I was born in 1955, and my dad was across there in 1921.
Right.
Then he was stuck in the army.
Yep. Yep.
My dad from 41, 45, he was stuck against the Japanese. 4 years, thousands were killed.
Yeah.
And my dad survived it.
That's good to know.
Well done.
Okay.
Enjoy your
Yeah.
walk.
Yeah. Thanks for popping by. Thank you. Right. Very good. So we were just talking about the ongoing work of Clean the River Kent campaign. You've got a very active group of people from right across the whole length of the Kent. So it's good to encourage other people to join you.
We'd love more people to join us. Yes.
Very good.
I mean, there are a lot of people that support the campaign, and we've had fantastic turnouts. People, citizen scientists, if you like, who'd be willing to go and, in all weathers, go and collect water samples. But there's so many jobs to be done. We could do so much more. We do what we can with the resources, but if there were more of us, we could do so much more. So.
Yes, I mean you've worked with Simon Raven, who many of us follow, who cleans the Kent through Kendal in terms of debris that's been thrown in. So we've done quite a lot of work with Simon, and we did can't dance routine.
That was brilliant. Yes.
Well, that was great fun. That was very much in partnership with you and promoting your work. And Natural Kendal's very pleased that you're coming to do a tour.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah,
Yes.
and a good friend of ours, Joe Rigby, will also be there. Could you say a bit about what Joe will be talking about, just briefly?
For sure. So he's been working on doing the analysis of levels of phosphates in the river, so they were taking samples all of last year, which is it's fantastic to have all these different science samples in different locations along the river. So essentially, he wants to talk about those results and what he's found and what they told him.
Brilliant. So you're both coming to the Eddington Centre 7 o'clock on the 23rd, which is Thursday, coming up quite soon.
Yes,
so hopefully, if you've seen this introductory talk, it will be a bit of a teaser for coming along to hear the full story from both Isobel Stoddart and Joe Rigby.
Great. Well, thank you for letting us the opportunity to give the talk.
Very
It's
good,
great.
very good. I was just going to ask, I've got to know you a bit better over the time that we've known each other, but your background's actually a passionate cyclist.
That's right.
A campaigner for sustainable transport.
That's right,
So
yes.
that's where all your passion for sustainability comes from, and it's
Definitely.
now applied to the river.
Yes.
So it's good to know you've got a long history of campaigning work, and you're an exemplar of running a very effective campaign, if I may say. So good to have you around.
Oh, thank you. We look at Natural Kendal, what you're doing, and so we're impressed with. So we should work in
Mutual
partnership.
fan club. Yeah, that's what we need. Okay. Well, we'll see you a week on Thursday.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Oh, thanks,
Cheers,
Craig.
Isobel.
Yeah.